live here. So, I guess it's a bit of an opportunity for you to just reach out to me and go, hey, what's going on in the property space? What's going on with, everything to do with wealth creation, interest rates, et cetera, et cetera. I've got our videographer, Daniel, here behind me, and he's effectively going to be doing a bit of a bouncing off the stuff and asking me some questions that we have had come in over the last couple of days. So, Daniel, thanks for joining us, mate.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Interestingly,
in the studio.
Yes, yeah. You never
that I live in.
We never see him behind the camera, but you are a fucking good-looking rooster, and you do not have a face for radio, unlike me. So apologies that you got me coming through there.
Jared Goundry dispelled that rumor that you just said there on his episode a few years back. I'll put a clip in.
How funny was that? I was like, he goes, yeah, some guy gave me his camera, so there was next minute there's a dick pic coming on. I'm like, you gave me, he goes, no, mate, well, I didn't do that. Anyway, we've only got 15 minutes, champion. Yes. Rip us off with a couple of questions. And I just so you all know, true Ridgy Ditch, there's been a bunch of questions come in. Like, oh, would you like to have a look? I'm like, no, just ask me and I'll answer them and you'll just see it live here on the Facebook.
Great. All right, here we go. First one is from Brendan in Brisbane. He said, can you explain how debt recycling works and whether it's a good option for ADF members looking to grow their property portfolio?
Yeah, cool. Hey, debt recycling has been around for a long time. It's effectively a bit of a buzzword, really. Like some people come to us and are like, oh, I want to buy a property in a trust. I'm like, oh, why do you want to do that? They're like, I don't know. I thought it was a good idea. Anyway, similar sort of stuff. Debt recycling effectively, in principle, is the debt on your own home is non-tax deductible. So you're able, if you've got a big chunk of cash from a deployment or a DVA payment or an inheritance or you've been saving your ass off, whatever it is, you can, if it's the right thing to do, pay your own home loan off so you don't have any debt against your own home. And then you can grow a property portfolio by accessing equity from your own home. So equity loans from your own home and then the rest of the loans on the new investment property. And those loans on your own home, even though the debt is against your own home, non-tax deductible, the purpose of the money is to buy an investment, it is tax deductible. So I guess that's the premise of it there, is that you are recycling your debt to enable the tax laws in Australia to be effective coming your way. Now, one caveat I'll put in that, of course, and this is why you don't just like, oh, heard RT talking about debt recycling, babe, let's go do that. What if you got your DOHAS subsidy of $1,000 a month coming in on your own home? All that goes away because DOHAS is only available for owner-occupied debt. So again, don't chase shiny things. Actually have a plan in place. Know that it is going to give you the best financial outcome once you crunch the numbers and fucking rip in. What else?
All right, hang on one second. I'm just going to switch gears because of what you just said then. I'm going to go to one of the later questions.
All right.
Let me find it here for you.
See, I'm not in control here. So hope you're having a good day, by the way, whatever it is you're doing. If you're in the brew room, if you're in the mess, if you're in the bloody car going to grab some bloody Nando's or whatever, then hook in.
It was the next question. I should have just gone in order. Okay, so it's from Sarah in Townsville, and she says, I've got access to DOHAS. Should I be using it on my own home first or on an investment property?
Yeah, nice one. Look, Sarah, that's a really interesting question, and I'm so glad you're taking this seriously to be able to, get some clarity on this. It's really, I remember when I was in, a couple of weeks ago was my 12-year anniversary of me handing my ID card back, so I've been out for a little while. Probably I've been out for longer than what you guys, some of you have been joined, which is great. I hope you're enjoying the rest of your military career. I did a very humble 24 years, and I hope all of you get to experience some wonderful things. Side note, anyway, back on track. It was unclear to me, even when I was in, about what goes on with the rules on the road about using your ADF housing entitlements. There's misinformation, there's disinformation, there's rumour and innuendo. I guess a bit of a bottom line up front, back to you, Sarah, when you get a chance to listen to this, or even if you dialed in now, using your DOHAS or HPAS or HEPSI or the first home owners grant from a government perspective, none of that is applicable to an investment property. So you must only have those grants and those entitlements come your way when you are living in your own home. So, yeah, it's really, really important that you do understand that there is a massive but super important difference there. Hope that helps, mate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. I'll go on to the next one, but we've just had a message come through on the chat. It says, hey, guys, it's Justin and Damo from Burpengary.
Oh, the boys are out and about.
Yeah.
There you go. They're like, we left the office to go out on a site visit today. Why the fuck are we now dialed back in and I see the big wig drawing off in town? I don't have a wig on, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, next one we've got is, with frequent postings, how can defence families make smart property decisions without getting caught out? Michael.
Oh, Michael. So how?
Didn't tell us where he was from.
Yeah, no worries. Well, that's because he's got multiple postings going on. One of my little coaching philosophies is that when you are in the rock and roll, the posting cycle, as I call it, and certainly, I joined as a digger, got to sergeant, commissioned the captain, got out as a fifth-year major. So it was really only at that senior NCO level that I felt the sort of postings coming my way every couple of years. In my experience, generally, when you you stay reasonably put up to sort of the senior NCO level, so there's a bit of stability there for you. But yeah, when you're in that sort of higher echelons of the respective rank trades, home is where your next posting is. So yeah, I think it's really important that, and I'll go back. When you want to buy your own home, it's your opportunity to give yourself permission to chuck a bunch of emotional energy into making that home fucking amazing for you. Apologies if you've got the kids around. It's 12:30. They should be at school or somewhere else. It's really important that I guess I've seen it many, many times over the years that people are in a posting location for 3 years and they buy their own home. They've chucked so much emotional capital into that home, and then when the impending posting comes around, they fucking hate it that someone else is living in their house. That was my house. That no one's going to live in it the same as me. No one's going to look after it the same as me. No one keeps it as clean as same as me. And then they got their mate to keep bloody driving past it every couple of weeks. That's when the tenants are living in it. That's called stalking, just in case you're wondering. So it's a really, really interesting scenario. So what I did, I put on the shelf all my ADF and government grants, built an investment portfolio whilst I was serving, and then when I got out, many years after I got out, when I worked out where I wanted to live and really bloody put my stakes down, double OHP sort of stuff, then I poured as much emotional capital as I wanted into my own home. So yeah, it's horses for courses. But just be careful that you don't. It's very hard to break the umbilical cord of a property that you poured a lot of emotional energy into. So anyway, that's a bit of a wishy-washy answer, but I hope that sort of helps philosophically. What else, mate? I thought you were going to ask me some tricky questions. When are they going to start coming in?
It was funny before Matt was asking. He was like, "Oh, how many questions you got? Is that going to be enough time to fill?" I'm like, "It'll be enough."
I'm a bit of an oversharer, but I'd prefer you and everyone else that's bloody listening, all of our 4 followers, to know the full picture about things. So it's one of those things when you've got nothing to hide, then let's chat.
Awesome. So what I've got here is it really better financially to use RA and MQ instead of buying your own home while serving, Jess, in Canberra?
Right. Wow. This is the questions that have come in are sort of following a bit of a similar vein today. Look, everyone focuses on HPAS, DOHAS primarily, and then HEPSI, because that's sort of part of the buy-sell cycle. But no one really focuses on the ADF housing entitlement of subsidised housing. So at the end of the day, there's always going to be an outgoing until you live in your own home with no mortgage, which is like probably later in life. For the majority of you listening right now, and thank you so much for all the 60-year-olds that follow me. I know there's a bunch of you. When you are leading up to the point where you don't have any mortgage on your own home, there's always going to be an outgoing to put a roof over your head. Whether that is rent with a subsidised RA or a service residence or paying your own mortgage. So let's just take that for what it is, right? We've had a bunch of people, myself and Ryan and James, the other coaches here, that have engaged with us over the last couple of years. They're like, hey, I've got a couple of investment properties. We're going to be getting posted to X, Y, and Z space. We feel like now's the time to move into our own home. I'm like, no worries. Just as long as that area is going to go up in value and it's the right thing to do for you, whatever else, let's crunch the numbers and see whether we can match the intent to what the actual reality of the circumstance is. Say you're paying $350 a week in a pretty nice, service residence. Some of them are cheaper, some of them are more expensive. So that's sort of the middle of the market based on my observations so far. And if you want to buy like a $700,000 to $800,000 property, which is the market for wherever you're going to buy, and when we crunch the numbers, because remember it's mandatory principal and interest on a DOHAS loan, it goes from like $350 a week, that outgoing you need to have to put a roof over your head, to the better part of $1,000 a week. And yeah, that pause that I just gave you then was the response that I get from people that are like, this idea about living in our own home, like, no, is that $650 to $700 a week? Is that a fortnight or a week? I'm like, a week extra that you're going to have now as an outgoing for the feeling of living in your own home, which you're going to fucking leave in a couple of years anyway when you get posted. So, yeah, look, I'm not pouring cold water. Daniel, was it Sarah that sent through that?
That was Jess.
Jess,
from
I
Canberra,
apologise. That was Sarah, the previous one. Jess, I'm not pouring cold water, mate. And it, Canberra, you're going to be looking at 800-900 grand depending on the property you buy down there. So it ain't bloody cheap in Canberra. So yeah, I guess it's just a real, it's a real rubber hits the road sort of thing. Your intent to live in your own home, I absolutely want everyone to feel that, but it comes at a bill shock cost to you. That the sooner you are aware of that, the better. So, yeah. And if you can make it work, fucking rock on. If not, keep living in your subsidised housing. Keep paying $350 a week to have a roof over your head, which is way less than the rest of Australia has to in most circumstances. And, perhaps there's an opportunity to grow a portfolio on the side. Whatever you want to do.
Okay, awesome. Keep on rolling on. We've probably got time for one more.
Okay.
We've got 4 minutes left.
Righto.
So we've got...
See, this is the military mindset. I'm like, we got 15 minutes, not a fucking second longer.
This is a good one.
I'll be the judge of that.
This is a good one. And this one, this one could have come from me. So
Okay.
you can answer this question if it's me instead of Ethan. How do you
Right.
balance having a property strategy with still wanting to enjoy life now, like travel or starting a family?
Priorities. That's what it all comes down to. I love it when talking about priorities, side note, people are like, oh, mate, have you had a chance to watch the videos or have you had a chance to do this? Oh, mate, I've been busy. Do you know what that's code for? This is not a priority for me right now. Because if it was a priority for you, you would have fucking taken action on stuff. So just take that as a little reminder or a little kick in the ass to get your stuff sorted. Yeah, look, it literally comes down, like, do you want to be able to go through a stage of life? Dave, who works here, said, mate, I've spent the first 12 years of my military life buying cars and guns and going on holidays. And then he had a realisation in his sort of late 20s, early 30s. He's like, ooh, I've had a secure job now since I was 17, 18 years old. I've got nothing to show for it, apart from a couple of memories at best.
A few less memories.
Yeah, well, I was going to when you look at your photos, you can remember stuff. And he then had a mindset shift and goes, right, fuck all that other stuff off. I'm now going to go and start to take steps to secure my financial future. So, even when we had a bunch of people come to us and like, oh, I'm saving 3, 4, 5 grand a month, I'm like, that's awesome. When you go through the focus of a build and you're effectively going to be not saving as much through the build until you get to the end, and then you can go back into a bit of a savings routine from there. So, yeah, it is all comes down to priorities. If you prioritize holidays and trips away and bloody toys and cars and weddings or whatever else, go do that. But don't come whinging to me when you're like in your early 30s or you're 10, 12 years down the track and you haven't taken any steps to secure your financial future. Conversely, there has been countless people that are in their early 20s that have like already come to us and like, all right, so what are you trying to achieve out of this? They're like, I want to put steps in place now so I can retire early. And I'm like, that is so powerful. I was not having the R-word conversation with anyone when I was in my early 20s. So, yeah, you are the master of your own destiny. You'll choose your own path. If you want to prioritize spending money on consumables, go do that. But at some stage, you need to have a